Grab a seat, hold my beer, and brace yourself for the top 5 the most bizarre habits of royals in human history. Number 1. Roman Emperor Nero's vomiting banquets. Once upon a time in ancient Rome, 54 AD to 68 AD, there was a young emperor named Nero. He became the ruler at just 16 years old and loved throwing big, fancy parties. These parties were known for being a bit strange, especially when it came to eating. According to accounts from historians, Nero would host banquets where guests were encouraged to indulge in excessive eating. Nero really enjoyed eating a lot, but he didn't want him and his guests to feel too full and uncomfortable. He wanted to continue enjoying the pleasures of the table without facing the consequences of overeating. To accomplish this, he allegedly came up with a method for intentionally vomiting during the feast, ensuring allowing him and his guests to continue consuming large quantities of food. Yes, you heard it right. Nero wanted his guests to be able to eat a ton without feeling too full. Nero ordered the construction of special rooms adjacent to the banquet halls. These rooms were not your typical chambers. They were equipped with advanced plumbing systems, where guests could purge themselves by vomiting, enabling them to make room for more food. So, if someone ate too much, they could sneak into one of these rooms and use the plumbing system to make themselves throw up. This strange practice of intentionally vomiting during a feast became a part of Nero's wild and extravagant lifestyle. Number 2. Wu Zetian's immortality experiment. Born in 624 in ancient China, there was a remarkable woman named Wu Zetian. She started as a mistress but later became the empress and, eventually, the ruler of China. Now, Wu Zetian wasn't into traditional hobbies like painting or gardening. No, she was all about alchemy, trying to mix up potions to stay forever young. Yes, you heard it right. But here's the twist. Instead of finding a fountain of youth, she ended up using a not-so-magical ingredient, mercury.
Women.
Spoiler alert, mercury is not a superhero potion. It's more like kryptonite. Her belief led her to consume these mixtures for several years. Our heroine thought chugging mercury mixes would give her eternal life, but surprise, it just made her sick. Imagine trying to get superpowers, but ending up with a running nose and a bad stomach ache. As Wu Zetian kept sipping on her not-so-magical potion, her health went downhill faster than a roller coaster. In the end, instead of living forever, she passed away in 705. Turns out, mercury is more of a health hazard than a fountain of youth. Some people thought Wu Zetian was a pretty good leader, bringing stability and all that jazz. Others, though, scratched their heads at her choices, like using toxic mercury as a DIY potion. Moral of the story, when it comes to magic potions, maybe stick to herbal tea. Number 3. The Spanish royal families and body parts of saints. Once upon a time in medieval Spain, from 5th to 15th century, you know, the period with more castles and fewer Wi-Fi signals, the royal families had a healthcare plan that would make today's insurance policies blush with embarrassment. So, here's the deal. When a royal got hit with a case of flu or fever, they didn't just dial up the royal physician. No sirree. They had a hotline to the Divine Healing Department. Here's how it worked. The court chaplain, a wise religious leader, would go to churches and monasteries to collect special items called relics. These weren't ordinary things. They were the remains of saints, people believed to have special powers with a direct connection to God. These relics could be bones, small pieces, or even entire bodies of these holy individuals. Once collected, the chaplain placed these relics near the sick person's bed. It was like having a direct connection to the divine right there in the room. Imagine a room with a few candles, no light bulbs yet, and a nice smell of incense. The sick royal would chill in bed surrounded by these special relics, kind of like having superhero sidekicks made of bones.
Yeah, boy.
The royal family believed that having these holy remains close would bring about a miraculous recovery.
I'm fine.
Really?
Absolutely. I'm fine. Totally fine.
This practice wasn't limited to just Spain. It was a thing in medieval Europe. People back then thought that a mix of faith and these special relics could do wonders, especially in times of illness. As time passed and our understanding of medicine changed, this unique tradition gradually faded away. Number 4. Emperor Caligula was weird as hell. During the 1st century AD ancient Rome, there was a peculiar emperor named Caligula. He did things that made people scratch their heads. There was a hidden toilet seat installed under his fancy throne. Yes, you heard it right, a hidden toilet under his majestic throne. He used it while he was in charge of important meetings. It was a strange way to rule, but that's what Caligula did. Talk about multitasking like a true emperor. But hold on, it gets even wackier. Caligula didn't like taking baths. He thought he was so important that he only bathed 3 times in his whole life. When he did, it was like a big event with lots of rituals. He believed his own smell was like a superpower. But when it came to clothes, Caligula was a fashion star. He changed his outfits not once, not twice, but 3 times every single day. His clothes were like a colourful show, and everyone in Rome couldn't stop talking about it. And there was something else. Caligula loved new smells.
Nice.
Every week, he wanted a new perfume. The people who made perfumes for him worked really hard to create special scents that changed all the time. People in Rome couldn't figure out why Caligula did all these strange things. Some thought he was a little crazy, like the gods had given him special wisdom. Others believed he was just playing games with his advisors, keeping them guessing.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Number 5. Maria Eleonora of Brandenburg's obsession. A long time ago, there was a queen named Maria Eleonora who lived in Sweden. She was married to a great king, Gustavus Adolphus, known for being strong and well-liked. Sadly, the happy times didn't last. In a big battle in 1632, King Gustavus Adolphus lost his life. Maria Eleonora was deeply devastated by the loss of her husband. She couldn't get over losing her husband, and her sadness turned into something strange. The queen reportedly commissioned a small, intricately decorated box to house the preserved heart of King Gustavus Adolphus.
What? What the fuck?
This ornate container became a constant companion for Maria Eleonora, as she carried it with her wherever she went. The courtiers and visitors couldn't help but notice the peculiar behavior, and rumors quickly spread about the queen's attachment to the heart. As time passed, Queen Maria Eleonora's connection with the heart grew stranger. It was said that she engaged in conversations with the preserved organ, treating it as if it held the spirit and wisdom of her beloved king. People in the castle and those who visited started talking about how strange the queen was acting. Some thought she was just really sad, but others believed something wasn't right with her. So, there you have it, a royal rollercoaster of weirdness. Turns out, being royal comes with a side of quirkiness and a sprinkle of the unexpected. History truly is a comedy in fancy costumes.